Here is the English translation of the provided text. The exploration of human biological diversity sometimes reveals medical cases and life choices that defy conventional scientific understanding. These 10 documented stories illustrate the complexity of anatomy, resilience in the face of pathology, and the extremes of voluntary body modification. Number 10. Mahendra Ahar, the surgical rectification of severe congenital myopathy. The story of Mahendra Ahar, an Indian child suffering from a severe malformation of the spinal column, became a global symbol of the need for access to specialized surgical care. Mahendra's case, originating from India, constitutes a poignant example of the ravages caused by untreated congenital myopathy. From birth, this degenerative muscular disorder caused such atrophy that his cervical muscles could not support the weight of his skull, forcing his head to rest permanently on his chest at a 180-degree angle. This disabling condition not only hindered his physical growth, but also made basic vital functions, such as breathing and eating, extremely laborious. Faced with the helplessness of the local healthcare system and the economic precariousness of his parents, an international intervention was necessary. Thanks to a crowdfunding campaign initiated in the United Kingdom, a complex surgical procedure was performed by Dr. Raja Gopalan Krishnan in New Delhi. The operation, involving bone grafts and the placement of titanium plates, allowed his spine to be straightened, offering the young boy a spectacular improvement in his quality of life and social interactions before his premature death due to cardiopulmonary complications. Number 9. Naveen Kumar, an extreme demonstration of bone density and pain tolerance. Naveen Kumar's performance transcends classic physical exploits, exploring the limits of the human body against mechanical shock and perceived pain. Naveen Kumar etched his name into the Guinness World Records through an extraordinary demonstration of physical strength and cranial conditioning. In 2020, this man set a new world standard by breaking 273 walnuts in 1 minute, using exclusively his forehead as a percussion tool. This performance is not merely a matter of brute force. It testifies to an exceptional mastery of motor precision and a rare physiological resistance to repeated trauma. The exercise requires impeccable technique to avoid slips that would cause severe skin lacerations or concussions. The total absence of protective equipment during this feat highlights an intense level of discipline and physical preparation. Beyond the spectacle, Kumar's case illustrates the human skeleton's capacity for adaptation in the face of extreme mechanical constraints, pushing the theoretical limits of cranial endurance without suffering immediate disabling injuries. Number 8. Kaleem, localized gigantism and social exclusion. Kaleem's story highlights the double penalty experienced by individuals with visible physical malformations in unfavorable socio-cultural environments. Young Kaleem, residing in the state of Jharkhand, India, presents a rare pathology, not precisely diagnosed in the text, resembling a form of macrodactyly or localized gigantism affecting the upper limbs. His hands, each weighing approximately 2.5 kilograms, 5.5 pounds, show disproportionate growth compared to the rest of his body, which gravely compromises his fine motor skills and daily autonomy. Beyond the medical challenge represented by this tissue and bone hypertrophy, Kaleem's case highlights the psychosociological consequences of visible diseases in rural communities. A victim of severe stigmatization, labeled son of the devil and ostracized by his peers, he demonstrates remarkable psychological resilience. His refusal to let his condition define his identity and his ability to maintain a positive attitude despite social isolation testify to an exceptional strength of character in the face of medical and human adversity. Number 7. Ruan Liangming, extreme symbiotic interaction with entomology. Ruan Liangming's bee beard is a staggering entomological exploit that requires sharp knowledge of nature and absolute peace of mind. Ruan Liangming, a Chinese beekeeper, has acquired global fame for his ability to withstand direct and prolonged contact with massive swarms of bees, a practice known as bee bearding. Holding a world record for covering his body with approximately 60 pounds of insects, Ruan does not possess a specific physiological immunity to venom, but has developed a high tolerance through progressive and controlled exposure. His method relies on a deep understanding of colony behavior. By placing the queen bee on his own body, he induces a protective clustering behavior among the workers. This performance, though visually terrifying to the general public, is used by Ruan as an educational tool to raise awareness about the crucial importance of bees in the ecosystem and pollination. His case illustrates a rare interspecies behavioral mastery, where human physiological calm is necessary to maintain the stability of the swarm. Number 6. Dennis Avner, Body Modification as a Quest for Totemic Identity. The journey of Dennis Avner is a profound interrogation of trans identity and species, illustrating the extremes of the desire to align the physical envelope with the inner identity. Dennis Avner, better known by the pseudonym Stalking Cat, represents one of the most advanced examples of total body modification motivated by a spiritual vision. Inspired by a conversation with a Native American chief encouraging him to follow the way of the tiger, Avner dedicated his life to transforming his human phenotype to resemble a feline. This metamorphosis required more than 14 heavy and irreversible surgical interventions, including the bifurcation of the upper lip, the reshaping of the ears, facial transdermal implants, teeth sharpening, and tattoos covering his entire body. Far from simple aesthetics, for him, this approach was a matter of deep identity authenticity, merging his perception of self with his physical appearance. His tragic death by suicide underscores the psychological complexity that often accompanies radical transformation journeys and the difficulty for society to comprehend these non-standard paths. Number 5. Mana Magid, the surgical complexity of Craniopagus parasiticus. The birth of Mana Magid mobilized global attention on an extremely rare congenital malformation, challenging the limits of pediatric neurosurgery. The case of Mana Magid, born in Egypt in 2004, constitutes a rare medical reference in the field of pediatrics and neurological surgery. She was born with an exceptionally rare condition called Craniopagus parasiticus, characterized by the presence of an undeveloped parasitic twin head attached to her own skull. This embryonic anomaly results from an incomplete separation of monozygotic twins in utero. The surgical intervention aimed at removing the parasitic twin lasted more than 13 hours and mobilized a high-level medical team to isolate complex brain vascular networks. Although the operation was technically successful, allowing the removal of the parasitic mass, long-term survival in such cases remains precarious. Mana's death, occurring from a severe post-operative brain infection nearly 2 years later, serves as a reminder of the immense risks associated with the surgical correction of such critical congenital malformations. Number 4. Kathy Jung, Anatomical Adaptation Through Corset Wearing. Kathy Jung has dedicated her life to a controversial form of body art, proving that the human body can adapt to prolonged external constraints without apparent major damage. Kathy Jung holds the Guinness World Record for the smallest waist on a living person, the result of decades of rigorous corset wearing, a practice known as tight lacing, with a waist circumference reduced to approximately 38 centimeters, 15 inches. Her silhouette defies standard anatomical proportions. Initiated by a passion for Victorian fashion, this body modification transformed into a permanent lifestyle, with Kathy wearing her corsets up to 24 hours a day. This case is particularly interesting from a medical point of view because, according to statements from her orthopedic surgeon husband, this progressive compression did not cause major pathologies. The corset acts as an external support for the spinal column. This suggests a surprising plasticity of the internal organs in the rib cage, capable of shifting and adapting to a continuous external constraint without immediate functional failure. Number 3, Vivian Wheeler, hypertrichosis and the redefinition of femininity. Vivian Wheeler's journey is a powerful testament to self-acceptance, transforming a genetic anomaly into a banner against the oppression of gender norms. Vivian Wheeler was born with hypertrichosis, a rare genetic condition causing excessive hair growth over the entire body, including the face. Holding the record for the longest beard for a woman, her journey is a case study on the impact of gender norms and self-acceptance. After undergoing intense familial and social pressure during her childhood to hide her condition, Wheeler went through a period of exploitation in circuses and fairs, where her difference was commodified. However, her later trajectory toward accepting her natural beard marks a break with imposed shame. By choosing to no longer shave, and by officializing her uniqueness through the Guinness World Records, she transformed a stigmatizing genetic anomaly into a symbol of pride and individuality, challenging the rigid aesthetic standards imposed on women. Number 2, Chandra Bahadur Dangi, primordial dwarfism and longevity. The story of Chandra Bahadur Dangi defies medical and societal expectations regarding people with primordial dwarfism living in isolation. Chandra Bahadur Dangi, originally from a remote village in Nepal, was recognized as the shortest adult man in history, measuring only 54.6 centimeters, 21.5 inches. His condition is identified as primordial dwarfism, a very specific form of dwarfism where the individual maintains harmonious body proportions despite an extremely small stature, unlike more common skeletal dysplasias. What makes Dangi's case exceptional, beyond his measurements, is his late discovery by the international community at the age of 72. Having lived his entire life without access to modern medicine, his longevity and relatively good health until an advanced age are remarkable for a person with this pathology. Becoming a global icon, he used his sudden notoriety to travel and sensitize the public to human diversity, proving that dignity and the impact of an existence are not correlated with physical stature. Number 1, Maria Jose Cristerna Mendez, the post-traumatic reappropriation of the body. The body of Maria Jose Cristerna Mendez is an extreme work of art and a resilient manifesto against domestic violence, symbolizing strength and self-determination. Maria Jose Cristerna Mendez, known as the Vampire Woman, illustrates the use of extreme body modification as a tool for resilience and empowerment. A lawyer by training and coming from a conservative background, she began her radical physical transformation, including full-body tattoos, titanium subdermal implants, and dental modifications, in response to a past marked by domestic violence. For her, each modification is not a mutilation, but a reaffirmation of control over her own body and an externalization of her inner strength. By covering 96% of her skin and altering her morphological structure, she defies social prejudices. Her professional activity, combining law, tattoo art, and activism for battered women, demonstrates a successful and complex social integration, where a monstrous appearance paradoxically serves as a shield and a communication vector for humanitarian causes. Number 11, a moment of unexpected cases. This image illustrates two extraordinary human realities. On the left, Robert Floyd, a grandfather born in Germany, possessed a nose of beyond standard proportions. Deep medical studies revealed an exceptional olfactory capacity. Following a scientific intervention, researchers confirmed that his sense of smell equaled that of animals renowned for their scent, such as dogs or bears. On the right, twin girls fused from birth share a rare neurological link. Thoughts, perceptions, and emotions circulate between them almost instantaneously, demonstrating a fascinating cognitive synchronization. In summary, whether dealing with rare genetic conditions or radical aesthetic choices, these stories highlight the extraordinary plasticity of the human body and the spirit's capacity to adapt, survive, and find meaning in the face of absolute difference.